So I'm just showing you that I have the book. I have read the book. Because a lot of people do Sunday worship. What day you worship?
What day I worship?
Yeah.
I worship every day.
The people of Solomon and Gomorrah had beds erected in the streets of the city. It says in 2:1, it tells you that the angels went before God. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Keep the Sabbath
Keep holy
day
the Sabbath day.
holy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a commandment. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwelling. And the 14th day of the first month is the Lord's Passover. Right? We dealing with Bible. Lesson 2. So again, went through yesterday. We was kind of exploring Genesis, right? We left off with Esau changing his name to Edom. So again, you know, as I said again, we just gonna go do a few things here. So now, again, so we understand that Jacob, right? Jacob is the son of Isaac. Grandfather is Abraham. And we know that Jacob had 12 children, which Christ came through one of the bloodline, which is called Judah. All right. So Christ was an Israelite. When y'all people over here talking about, I'm a Christian, Christ was an Israelite. Never said he was a Christian. No one in the Bible state that he was a Christian. People feel because his name is Christ, Christ Christian. Christ is a title. It's not a name. It's a title. His name is not Jesus Christ. That is not his name at all. Christ was meaning Messiah, right? And his real name is, some people say Joshua, we say Yeshaya, Yeshua. Some people say Joshua, but it's not Joshua because we know there was no J's, but we're not going to get into that, right? So we already found that Canaan and Canaanites, I went through that. Canaan, Canaanites, Cush, Cushites, Ham, Hamites, Edom, Edomites. You know, let's find out who is the Israelites. So let's go to Genesis. Where we at? Let's go to Genesis, right? And let's find out who is the Israelites. So let's go to, should I do, let's go start at Genesis, where we can start here at 35. I believe it's in 37. But let's see what they was called in Genesis chapter 35. Yeah. Right. So in chapter 35, right? So let's go to 35 and 10. Okay, here he is here. Genesis 35 and 10. All right. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. So now, he's talking to Jacob, right? again. Well, I read 11. I'm goofy. So let's start at 9. And God appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Pandaram and blessed him. Right? And it said here, and God said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name, and he shall call his name Israel. Israel. Go to the Hebrew. He will rule as God. That's what Israel means. He will rule from the Hebrew H8280 and H410. He will rule as God. Israel as symbolic name of Jacob. Also typically of posterity. Israel. You see this right here? Israel is a symbolic name of Jacob, not a religion. I want y'all to get that. So we understand. And if you go into Jacob, from he'll catch it that is supplanted. Jacob, the Israel-ish patriot. Jacob, Israelist, right? Israelist. So understand. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be blessed of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. So when he say that kings shall come out of thy loins, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Who's the kings that came out of Jacob's loins? Was it David? Was it Solomon? Was it Christ? That's the kings that came out of his loins. That's the kings. You know, because remember, also Saul was the first king, which is a Benjamite, right? Which is Jacob's youngest child. So Saul was the first king. He was a Benjamite. Was Saul a Benjaminite? Yeah, Saul was a Benjamite from the tribe of Benjamin. And from Saul, you know that it went down to David. From David to Solomon. Now, Saul and David was not kin. You know, David is from the tribe of Judah. But Saul still, you know what I'm saying, was a king. But he came out his loins. What do loins mean? Let's get that. Loins, the Hebrew, H4480. Property, a part of, hence, from, or out of, in many sense, above, after, among, at, because of, by reason of, from, among. So we know loins mean from, to come out of. So Saul came out of Jacob's loins, but Saul is Benjamin, right? But he's still a king. Didn't matter. Anybody that came out of Jacob's loins should have been king. Understand what I'm saying? And Saul came from that. And from there, it was switched. From Saul, it went to David. That's when, you know, David went to destroy Saul in the book of Kings. So David became king. Now David from the tribe of Judah. And from David, Solomon, Rehoboam, and it goes down to the bloodline to Christ. And that's why I say, did not our king spur out of from the tribe of Judah? Y'all not even ready for this, man. So I'm just showing y'all some things here. But everybody that comes out of him will be kings. Now, out of everybody else, like Edomites, you'll have dukes. And out of Ishmaelites, you'll have princes and things like that. That's why when you go to different places, you know, Europe and things like that, you know, you'll have different, you know, nationality. Now, let's go to Genesis 36, right? Which is one down. And let's go to 8. Now, let me show you something. We just got our first white man, Esau, in the book of Genesis, right? Why it's not doing this? So let's go here. Let's show what happened. How you start getting these mixed people along. Esau took his wives. Now, hold on. Let's go back here. And let me see. How you spell that? Ahalabah bare Jush, and Jael, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan. Right? Remember, Canaan was stolen by who? What was Canaan stolen? Right? By Canaan, the son of Ham. So now Esau done hooked up in the land of Canaan. Right? Now we know Nephilim was in the land of Canaan. They was dealing with the fallen angels, Nephilim blood, which is why God told them to stay away. Check this out. And Esau took his wives and his son and his daughters and all the persons of his house and his cattle and all his beasts and all his substance which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob. Right. And it tells, for their riches were more than that they might dwell together, and the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them because of their cattle. In other words, the land wasn't big enough for the both of them. This world is not big enough for the both of them now. One will rule and the other was to serve. And right now we are serving. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. What they say right here? Esau is Edom. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites. Let's say it again. If Esau is Edom, Esau is the father of the Edomites, which means Jacob, Israel, is the father of the Israelites. Canaan is the father of the Canaanites. Levi is the father of the Levites. It's simple, man. It's simple. You know, like people play stupid or people are stupid. It's simple math. Man, I don't know what this type of religion. What religion? Stupid? Read the Bible. Edom, Esau is the father of Edom, the Edomites, the ITE, descendants. He's the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. And here we go here. And it tells you about the generation. These are the names of Esau's son. Eliphaz, the son of Ada, the wife of Esau. Reu, the son of Bashemal, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were T-Man, Omar. Now keep in mind T-Man, remember He-Man? T-Man. Y'all might not remember He-Man. Now you got where we at? T-Man, Omar, and Zeppo, and Gadam, and Kenan. Now look, Zeppo, right? Zeppo. Y'all keep an eye on Zeppo, man, because Zeppo, when you read the book of Jasher, they do a whole story here. Zeppo is the king of Italy. It's a story about Zeppo that we don't get into later, but I'm just showing you a few things, and this is kind of what his bloodline was. Okay. Now, Esau. So we know that Esau was in the land of Canaan, and he was dealing with he was dealing with the Ishmaelites, you know, the Ishmaelites. Changing the name Israel. Now, before they was called Israelites, they was called the sons of Jacob. I want y'all to know that. Before they was called the Israelites, they was called the son of Jacob. Now, what do 36:1 say? Here, now these the generation of Esau who Edom. Esau took his wife and the daughters of the Canaan, and his daughters of Canaan, Ada, the daughter of Elah, the Hittite, Elon the Hittite, and Ahalabama, the daughter of Anah, these things killing me, the daughter of Zebion, the Hittite. Okay, now look, and Ishmael, daughter, sister of Nabatcha. Now, Ishmael daughter, right? He took a wife. Esau took his wives of the daughter of Canaan. Ada, the daughter of Elon, is his wife, the Hittite. And Ahalabah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zebulun, the Hittite. And this is Ishmael's daughter. And Basemath, which is female of the second form, was the wife of Esau and the daughter of Solomon, Basemath, right here. And this is not the Solomon that y'all think about, right? This is not David's son. And Basemath, Ishmael daughter, who is Ishmael. Ishmael, the name of Abraham's oldest son and of 5 Israelites, Ishmael. So we understand that he took a wife from Ishmael, and you know what I'm saying, he went to the land of Canaan, which he was not supposed to go deal with. So now we start to mix all these different people together, right? Dealing with all these different people now. So let's get this here. Let me get some more here. Let me get some. Okay. Let me try to. Try to get something up here. Let me try to look. I'm trying to show y'all something. Okay, so look. So it tells you that Jacob, no, his bloodline. Remember, out of who was all kings out of Jacob? When we say he told Jacob, you were born kings, right? Who all came out of that? Let's prove it. So Jacob, remember you had Joseph. Joseph was the king of Egypt. Those saved Egypt from a famine. Had David, we had Solomon, we had Christ, right? So we understand that all these was rulers and they ruled. And we know Christ is the lasting king. Now Ishmael bloodline, Ishmael born you princes. What I was telling you about. So if you go to Genesis, understand that, and that's why it's very important to understand who you are. Because if you're an Israelite, you born kings. Nobody else can born a king if you're not from that bloodline. So if you go to Ishmael, the Arabs, right? You go to the Arabs. Let's do what they can breed. Let's go to 17 and 20. Now, this is Ishmael. He can't born kings, only Jacob. We read that. And as for Ishmael, this is what God telling them. Let's read. And God said, Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee a son, indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and he will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he begot, and I will make him a great nation. Remember, he's a nation. He's not God's chosen people. So, nation is anything outside Israel. Apparently from the same root as in the sense of massing a foreign nation. Hence a Gentile. What is a Gentile? Edomite. Gentile is anybody not Israel. Also, figuratively, a troop of animals or a flight of locusts. Gentile, heathen, nation, people. So when they call you a heathen, right? Heathen, nation, people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a nation is. Nation is not God chosen people. Israel is. But you see right here, he said, I will make you a prince, properly and exalted one. That is a king or a chief, also a rising mist, captain, chief, cloud, governor, prince, ruler, vapor. So we understand he told Jacob, you were born kings. Ishmael cannot born kings. You know, he can only born princes, right? Now, let's go to Edom, right? So Esau, bloodline. Let's go to 36 and 15. So we can understand who's who. Why is you so special? Now, Jacob, kings, Ishmael, prince. Let's go to Esau. These were the dukes of the son of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau, Duke Teman, Duke Omar, Duke Zepho, Duke Kenaz. So they can only born dukes. All right, dukes. So we got the princes. So we got the king, Jacob, Ishmael, prince, Esau, dukes. All right, now I want you to, and they dukes or chiefs, if however you want to put it. So if you read here, when you go to Genesis 35 and 22, right? Let me see. Okay. Hold on. So let's go 35 and 22. And it came to pass when Israel, who is Israel? He will rule as God, a symbolic name of Jacob. So we know Israel is Jacob, right? And it came to pass when Israel dwelt in that land that Reuben went and laid with Bilhah, his father concubine. What is a concubine? A concubine is of a certain derivation. A concubine also a concubine. It ain't really giving me nothing that I need, but it's like a girlfriend, second wife. And that land that Reuben was concubine, Israel heard. Now the sons heard it. Now the sons of Jacob went 12. At this point, they're still the sons of Jacob. They are not Israelites. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun, who is Judah. celebrated Judah, the real Jews or Judah, the name of 5 Israelites, also of the tribe descended from the first of its territory, Judah. So here you tell it right here. Judah is the name of the first 5 Israelites. What do you mean the first 5 Israelites? Here we go. Leah, the sons of Leah, Reuben, 1. Jacob firstborn. Simeon, right? 2, right? Levi, 3. Judah, 4. And Issachar, 5. Zebulun, 6. So you got 1, Reuben, Simeon, 2. Levi, 3. Judah, 4. Issachar, 5. And Zebulun, 6. Right? So Judah, again, who is Zebulun? A son of Jacob, also the territory of the tribe of Zebulun. Right. Who is Joseph? Future of Lehem, or perhaps simply active participant. Joseph, the name of 7 Israelites. Joseph compared. Now, Benjamin. Remember I say Saul? Who is that? From the son's right hand, Benjamin, youngest son of Jacob, also of the tribe descended from him and its territory. So we know these are all kings that came from Jacob. All right. Jacob. Let me see. How long we been on? 27? Yeah, time be going fast. I be wanting to get this up out the way. So I'm showing y'all some things. So we understand that Jacob can only born kings. We know Ishmael can only born prince. And we know Esau can only born dukes. I know Esau is king now of the earth under Satan. We understand that. But we know they still call sons of Jacob right now. And then we know that, okay, Levi, we know he was born the priesthood. Now, so for him as a priesthood. Numbers 8 and 14. Wild man number Ishmael descendants. Okay. Abraham remarried. Now, let's go to where Abraham, when God said he will make him a great nation, let's go to Genesis 25. This is when he said, I'll make you a great nation, when he was telling Abraham and Jacob, you know. So let's go here. Then again, Abraham took a wife. See, Abraham death and his descendants. And then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. Right? Keturah, wife of Abraham. Right? Keturah. And she bare him Zimrah and Jostan and Medan, which is the Mennonites, right? And the Median and Ashbak and Shah, right? And then they started how their bloodline. So from here, she bare him Zimran, right? And now, when you get down here, we understand that the same as Median, which is this before Moses, because remember Moses took a wife from the Midianites right here, I believe, right here. Abraham also country and collected the Midian. See right here, Midianites right here. And so that's where Moses come and took a wife, Zechariah. That's where Abraham come in and not Abraham, sorry about that. Moses, he came and took a wife, Zechariah, and had 2 sons. Which some I want to go over that too, you know. Some that I want to go over with that later, not now. But I'm just showing you. Where's my notes at? Come here. Um, Give me 1 second. Here we go, right here. I want to show. I want y'all to see this now. So yeah, so we there with now. So that's where the nations come in at. So now, how do we make a nation? So you got Abraham, right? He took Ishmael. So from Ishmael, you know what I'm saying, you have the Arabs. Then he married, not married, but because we know he married Ishmael's mom, and we know that's where Ishmael came, the firstborn, but Isaac was the promised seed. So Isaac born Jacob and Esau. So right now, we're dealing with three different people. Right there. Three. You got Ishmael, which is his first son. Then you got Isaac. So you have the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, and you have Isaac, right? From the bloodline of Abraham through Shem. Then from there, you have, from there, let me get this over here. So from there, you have Jacob and Esau, right? Now Esau, again, that's, you got a white man, you have an Israelite, and you have an Arab. Now from there, now you got Keturah, and she born 5 more kids. Now you got the Mennonites, right? From the Mennonites, you have, you know, the you got Ammonites, because remember, Lot don't come from Abraham loins. So the Moabites and Ammonites is not of his direct bloodline, in so many words. But that's where you start to get these different nations from, and all of them birth from who? From Abraham. So that's 5 different, 4, 5. You got 5, 6 different nations just coming out of that alone. Now, let's go with, and we know Zechariah is, we know that Moses married Zechariah when you look at Exodus 2 and 15. So if you want to go into Exodus 2 and 15, this is later. Abraham passed away, Jacob. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of who? Midian, and sat down by a well. Right here. And again, the same Magian, a son of Abraham, also his country and descended. So Mennonites. So we know Moses is there. He's in a land where one of Moses descended, which they call the children of Cush. Is it the children, not the children of Cush? What's the name of that? The children of the East. Children of the East. I want to be sure. It's called the children of the East. And that would be Abraham's children. The children of the East. Book of Jasher. Right. Guess the kingdom of Cush, the sin is often right. So yeah, so the children of each was Abraham's son because he had to send them away. He had to send them away. He gave him gifts and money, and he had to send them away. But yeah, them the children of the east, which they tell you about in the book of Jasher. So the five children would be called the children of the east. They're Abraham's son, you know. And so we see right here in 15 where he fled from Pharaoh and he sat down in the land of Midian. So this is Abraham descended Cush. Now the priests of the Medians had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the drought to water their father's flock. And the shepherd came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And when they came to Reu, their father, he said, "How is it that you are come so soon today?" And they said, "An Egyptian delivered us out the hand of the shepherds and also drew water for us." So we know, and he said his daughter, blah, 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 and Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zechariah, his daughter, right? And she was a good lady, you know, Moses' wife, Zechariah, right? So that's that. Now, Zechariah, Moses, remember, Moses married an Egyptian woman, so it's not Zechariah. You know what I'm saying? He had another wife, and that's when, and when you read the book of Numbers, when Aaron and Miriam spoke against him. I get into that later. This is I get to that later. You know, I don't want to put the cart before the horse. Now, let's go to Numbers 12 and 1. Let's get down to Numbers. Remember, Zechariah is who? Zechariah, his daughter, you know, which is the Reu. Let's get it here. And and their father, Reu. Who is Reu? For the same and friend of God, Reu, the name of Moses' father-in-law, also of an Edomite and an Israelite. Reu. So from the same as and friend of God, Reu, the name of Moses' father-in-law, also of an Edomite and an Israelite, right? Because as far as the Israelite, you know, he did come where he didn't come from the loins. He didn't come from Abraham, from Isaac stock. He came from Abraham's stock, but through through I through Isaac is the Israelites. Through Jacob is the Israelites. So he came through Abraham through a different woman. Now, if I want to check back because we got to find out who Keturah was. You know, we got to find out of what stock she was in order for him to be of an Edomite and an Israelite. You know, so I need to look more into that. I ain't gonna speak on that right now because that now I need to figure out who is this guy because he had different names too. So I need to know who is Raul, man. Now I need to know. Now I need to know. Because now you saying he 2 different dudes, right? And that's because I don't feel like going and get my books. Moses' father-in-law bloodline. Moses' father-in-law was Mennonite. All right. Priest Jethro, also known as Raul, a descendant of Abraham through his wife Keturah. Okay, so cool. Belonging to his Canaanite tribe, a nomadic people connection of, okay, his lineage traced back to Mennonite sons of Abraham and Keturah, making him part of people with ancient ties to Abraham lineage and distinct from the Israelites. But distinct from the Israelites, correct. So he is called Raul, right? And as is the most scholars believe these are the same people. Okay, cool. So he is from the bloodline of Abraham, but not Israelites, as I said earlier. Okay. So let's go to Numbers 12 and 1. So we at Numbers 12 and 1. The Lord spoke unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai and the tabernacles of the covenant of the first and the second of the month. And okay, I say 12 and 1. I'm bogus. I'm going to say, what is this? And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married. For he had married an Ethiopian woman. Who was the Ethiopian woman? Who did Moses marry? Feminine, a Cushite woman, Ethiopia. Now we understand that Zechariah couldn't be that because she's from Raul stock, right? Or Jethro, which is Raul, the same person, Moses' father-in-law, and we know he's from the stock of Abraham, and we know Abraham is not. Abraham is from the bloodline of Shem. Now the Cushite is Ethiopia, which is from the bloodline of Ham. So Zechariah is somebody different. So by the time Moses got to Egypt, he had already been somewhere else and ruled as king, which I get into later. I get into that later. But I'm just showing y'all. They spoke against him because he had married an Ethiopian woman. And Zechariah was not Ethiopia. She wasn't Cush. She's the daughter of Jethro or Raul. So yeah, I want to King of Cush 40 years. You know what? I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that tomorrow. I'm gonna break that down. So I'm gonna go there. But let me go. Let me show you something before I go. I'm gonna show you one more thing, and then I'm gonna get into the book of Jasher tomorrow, and I'm gonna break down that Moses went before they say he went to meet with Jethro, Raul, and his daughters. Moses was already somewhere else for 40 years. This is 40 years later, which I'll break down to you. Let's get here. Okay. Where we at? Okay, so this here. Let's go here. Let's go to Numbers, so I can show you some things. So this Numbers here, and let's go to just to show you some things here. I should be at 26. And it came to pass after the plague that the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Eleazar, the son of Aaron, and his priests, saying, take the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel, the children of Jacob, all the stocks, all the congregation, that's his descendants, from 20 years old and upward through their father's house, and all are able to go to war in Israel. So everybody 20 and better. That's why, to go to the army, they want you to be 21 years old to join the army. A lot of stuff that you see now still go back from biblical days, 20 and up. So that's why when they want you to apply for the army, they usually want you to be 21 years old. It start, right here. Now, when you look down here, and it tell you, you see all of the nations of the ITEs. And Moses, the priest, and blah, blah. So start here. Take the sum of the people of 20 years and up, and right here you command them to go to. So look, Reuben, the eldest son, and the children of Reuben, right here, and he telling you right here, the Hanachites, the family of the, right. Look at all these ITEs, the Puatites, right here, the family of the Hezronites. You mean to tell me all these are religions? How about the Carmites? You understand what I'm saying? The Reubenites, right here. And tells you right here, I'm just showing you all the ITEs. It's showing you that there's different nationality. That the ITE only mean, the bloodline. The sons of Simeon, after their families, right here, the Nubanites, you know what I'm saying, the Geminites, the Jetonites, you know what I'm saying, the Zerahites, you know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying now, right? So I want y'all to understand, when you hear Israelites, don't think it's a religion. You have to read the Bible. Zephanites, Haggites, and Shannonites, right here, Ozanites, right? Erites, look, the family of Ir, the family of the Irites, the family of Oznat, the family of the Ozanites. Same shit. The the family of Arad, the family of the Aranites. It don't get no simpler than that, man. It don't get no simpler than that. No simpler than that, man. Now, what I'm gonna do is tomorrow I'm gonna go into my book Jasher, and I'm gonna show you that before Moses got to, because we still in the book of Genesis, right? When I say Genesis, I mean I want to say like the 5 book, the Torah. We're talking about exploring the Torah, the first 5 books of Moses. So I'm gonna go like that, but I'm gonna show you, and I want to deal with some jubilees also. But I'm gonna show you that Moses went somewhere else for 40 years before he came back, and he met with Jephthah's daughters and fought off. So when he left Egypt from Pharaoh, he didn't go right there. He went somewhere else for 40 years. Then he came there. I'm gonna show y'all that tomorrow. So because people get confused, and the Bible mentioned that, but you don't know how you get there. He had an Ethiopian wife, but we know Zechariah is the daughter of who? So she couldn't be Cushite. I'll tell y'all about that later. But man, please if you like my videos, please whether you help or not, I still have to do the work. You understand what I'm saying? So, for my personal records, I will have these in, and I want y'all, just to, stay prayed up, and before we leave, let's do this prayer. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, forgive our debts, as we forgive our debt to us, leave our debts. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, forgive our debts, as we forgive our debts to us, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us all evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever, ever. Thanks for the putting the hedge over us. I thanks that we pray for the homeless, the widows, the orphans, the wicked, the sinful, and also the blessed. I ask that, you give us mercy. I know the world's come to an end, some things happening, and people need to come and, get under, a hedge, get right, get baptized, lay down sin, and follow you and seek you, and be of, the Holy Spirit, teach people, righteous, and follow the Christ, that path that Christ followed. Be thankful for the weather. That weather could be hot, We know the weather can be cold. You know, thanks for the things we does have. You know, and being blessed just to be healthy. You know, we don't give praise for them. You know, and I know a lot of us still struggle with sin. You know, me myself. You know, but still, I know who you are. I still love you. I still seek you, and I still, ask that you come into my heart and remove all unclean spirits, from within my realm, And I pray for my family, my sons that's incarcerated, the people that won't make it to tomorrow, the people that's paralyzed. I have a friend in the hospital. I pray that he recover, and I ask, that have your angel watch over your chosen people, the people that seek you, no matter what race they are. If they seek you, I ask that you put a hedge also around them and send someone that they may lead them into the path towards your kingdom. So I pray in the name of Christ, Amen. There you have it.